Hey campers, Jeffrey with C.H. Waltz Outdoor and RV in Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania. It's a beautiful Pine Creek Valley. And I am so excited to talk today to you about the 2026 KZ Connect 252BH. This camper has so many great attributes going for it. And we're going to get into that. But we'll just start briefly that it's a camper that's 30 foot total length, opposing slides. And honestly, I could see this, it is a true family unit, but I could still see this being used as a couples unit too, and we'll get into that. As we look at the front of this KZ Connect 252BH, you'll take notice they have a really nice fiberglass nose cap on this, great windshield, a lot of natural light in. And I even like this new barrier they put down here. They used to put like a diamond plate look, but this actually seems more resilient and much more heavy duty than that. Quite honestly, it was kind of chintzy, to be honest with you. But this they did a great job with. You're going to get standard features on this camper like the power tongue jack, the battery disconnect system. Let's check out some of the features on the side. So now we're on the side of the camper. You'll see that all their compartment doors are going to have magnetic latches. This has really ample storage. This particular camper has the electric stabilizers, so powered electric stabilizers front and rear. We're going to get a 19-foot awning on this, so great coverage on the campsite. Take a look at the new composite steps. That's being used a lot, but this is really great on any camper. They're lighter. I think they offer more traction, and to be honest with you, being a dog owner, I think dogs are really going to like these better because they're not as slippery. They just feel more comfortable, and I think you're just going to get so much more grip with them, so they do a great job. They do some standard features like the screen protector and the screen shot, so that's all standard right off the get-go with them. You have a nice big grab handle, and then we have our leech connector with bottle opener. So as we walk down this side, you will see it's an opposing slide. You do unfortunately lose some campsite sitting, but keep in mind that awning comes out, honestly much further, so you still could set up chairs, and when we get inside you'll really appreciate why there's that opposing slide. I also wanted to touch base on these fender skirts. I usually don't do that, but they used to be so much more chintzy in the years past, and what a great job. These are nice heavy duty ABS plastic, so that's a big nice feature about these. And when we're talking about the opposing slide, the other thing that strikes me, if we come over here and look, a lot of campers that do opposing slides don't offer dual rack and pinion systems, being a rack and pinion on the campsite and a rack and pinion on the other side of the camper, where KZ has done that on here. And that is your most, reliable slide out system. So that's a great feature for this camper. And then it's also had the TV that comes in the bedroom, which then can be mounted out here with plug-in for cable, and you have a black tank system for flushing, and then here's our power stabilizer switches here again as well. Let's check out the back. We look at the rear of the camper. It's got a 2-inch receiver capable of 200-pound carrying capacity, so great to put a couple electric bikes here, no problem. It's going to come standard with a roof-mounted ladder to get up and down, do your roof inspections if that's something you want to do. Everything's LED lighting. It's been like that for a couple years, so that's really nice. And another functional part is it is pre-wired for the backup camera. So as we're looking at the driver's side of the camper, the big highlights on this, it's going to come with the tankless water here. This one's 50 amp service. But what I really like about this camper, and because it's opposing slides and the things that it'll offer you, is look at this storage area back here. So if you were thinking about, obviously you could put your sewer hose in the bumper, but there's a lot of extra storage here. So for additional hoses or camping supplies, I really love the storage in this camper. And then we walk up a little bit further, and then there's additional storage. So you don't often get storage like that on our typical campers that you're going to see day in and day out. So that's a big plus on this camper. Again, the rack and pinion slide. KZ uses a docking station, which is really nice. It kind of covers up everything, but this is where your cable hookups are, your water hookups. They use a valve that switches things, so there's only one water connection, and then that switches between city water and fresh tank. And again, they're using all those magnetic connections, and this was your pass-through storage. Another highlight of the KZ, if you pop in here and look at this, is on that panel of the wall to your right there. KZ does that on all their campers, and that's just a panel that pulls away, so that if you're a person that likes to do your own winterizations, your water pump's in there, so it's an easy bypass area. It just makes things so much easier than carrying in jugs of antifreeze into your camper. Just cleaner. So if you have a little spill, it's in your pass-through storage, easy cleanup. Let's check out that inside. All right, great. So now we're inside the KZ Connect 252BH. Look at this fantastic island. This again is the thing that you'll get when you have opposing slides. So a lot of countertop space here. Behind me is really neat because they have some neat little hooks, whether it be for keys or hanging up a leash from the dog. This is where you're going to find your main system for opening your slides and your awning, plus all your gauges. Here is our main AC for the main room, which is a 15K. Nice little storage area in here, and it's great that they added a shelf to it. Nice hardwood front doors. And down in here is a hidden converter, which I really like because it's just not out in the open. And a lot of times those run at night, so you'll get a little bit of residual noise, so that helps tone that down a little bit as well. And look at that big shelf in there. As you look behind me, you'll see that they have the 11 cubic foot refrigerator in here. Changed up a little bit from the one we saw last year, but I'm not opposed to it. I kind of like that just as much. And as I looked on this wall, just to let you know, this is the AC unit for in the bedroom. So you have them on separate walls, and I also like that they're controlled separately. Keep in mind, if you were at a 30 amp service, you were just running the one AC, that one AC is ducting still into the bedroom as well. So you are getting some air control and flow in there. As we look into the kitchen area, just again, some nice, good storage for you. Lots of great countertop space, because I love that this can operate as countertop space even with the TV there. So just a lot of cupboards and a lot of pull drawers as far as cabinetry. All right, still looking in the kitchen area and all that countertop space. You see we got a nice TV in here, 40-inch smart TV. We got the electric fireplace to offer that supplemental heat, or just great looks, you know. As we come over back to the island, what we've done is we've raised this up to show you that it prepared some extra seating area. And or just, here again, more countertop space. But if you were just, you know, wanted a cup of coffee while someone was preparing something, you could easily sit down and do that. We have here 4 seating areas that are all recliners. The other thing, if you don't want to use them all as recliners, you have some big laydowns with cup holders in them. They are heated and vibrating on the ends. The other cool thing that they do, because they don't offer a traditional dinette, is they've given you this area, but they also give you a foldable table that you can place down this end, wherever you want, or take it outside. Let's check out the bedroom. So now that we're in the bedroom, you can see it has a king-size bed, lots of storage, lots of natural light. It comes with the TV on the wall. That was an option. You know, you have great walk-around space here, but you also have 2 doors, so you can walk in from either side. So it offers a lot of privacy, a lot of room, and just great storage. And with that king-size bed, wow, you know, you're really going to enjoy this front bedroom. So as we look towards the back of this, now you can see that we have these bunks. You know, they're the nice big double wide bunks. They're rated at 500 pounds a piece, built-in ladder. They're going to have their own separate lights and electric, you know, controlling for chargers. Now you have a nice curtain here. I really like the color of that curtain too, by the way. So that's your bunk area. Going to offer a lot of additional sleeping. One other thing that I'd like to point out as we look down here at the floor, actually, you'll see that they went with a new floor register. So it's not open. It's going to let the heat blow out, but it ain't going to show all the dust bunnies and little particulates that are down on what you typically see with floor vents. You know, and then getting to the floor vent, you know, it still is the most functional heating source when it's in the floor and it's ducted through there. So I think it's a good point that they've redone it a little bit, but still kept the floor for heating. And talking one other thing about the air conditioning and ductwork, they use a really nice flow air conditioning flow system. It's a very upgraded system that you don't see a lot in campers. So one, you're not going to, it doesn't look like a traditional dump system. There's a nice filter in this. You're not going to have all that residual noise. And the way that their ducting is built with, that they do it with KZ, is you go down the road and your camper's flexing and moving and twisting, that AC ductwork is not coming apart. So it's going to be a much better ducted system, more quiet, better filtered, all the way around, just a better system with the KZ Connect. Let's check out the bathroom. All right, we're in the bathroom. I'd like to say that there's not a ton of room, but there's also plenty of room. No problems there. As we look around, I like that they offered, even though it's not huge, they've offered a nice amount of countertop space right there. They've gone with their traditional corner shower. It's glass walled. That's right in the right area, no talking about that. Your ceiling height to this point right here is 6'8", so even tall guys, you're going to be fine in here. I'd like to point out that that's a really nice linen closet, good shelving, nice hardwood doors. I like that they put a window in the bathroom. And the other cool thing is, and even though we don't have it lit up, is this is a nice piece of glass, and it has a really nice surround part of white light when that's put on for supplemental. So great job in the bathroom, KZ. All right, so to wrap up things, I always like to chill out on the Lazy Boys. And I have to say, even though this isn't a lot different from any other Thomas Paine collection, the material feels really good. And I like that it actually feels really nice and cool to the touch. And it feels like it'd be easy to wipe up because there's not a lot of like inner grains to it or anything that could collect dirt. So I think knocked it out of the park on that one. And I like that the whole family could chill out here, or just if you're a couple or just mom and dad, you can chill out here. So like, as I was talking before when we first started this video on the camper, this really can make a great couples unit camper because you have all the space you need in the living area. You've got your recliner, you know, you're facing the TV. You've got great window coverage here at the campsite behind me. Great prep area. But you know what? If every once in a while the grandkids come along, or your grown-up kids still come along, you still got your bunks, and that could be great sleeping room. Or it's a great family camper. Here again, because we have all this room that the family can chill out. Great bunk room. So a lot of sleeping potential, a lot of potential with this camper. You know, being at that 30 foot is a huge deal. And to get this much space, like the only one thing that you could maybe get a complaint out on is because it's opposing slides, you lose some of your awning space for sitting underneath, but it still has room, so keep that in mind. And everything else just overshadows that, in my opinion. I've been doing this for a while. So let's just go over some specs. Your dry hitch weight on this is going to be 840 pounds. Most of that's coming because of the opposing slides. You know, the dry weight of this camper here again is coming in just a hair over 7,000 pounds. So this is a very easy half-ton towable, or even if you had the right full-size SUV like a Suburban, like a Grand Wagoneer, you could tow this camper and safely do so. So wow, offering a lot of potential for tow capacity there. Coming in at gross weight at 8,800 pounds, so you got some good cargo carrying capacity if you need it. That interior height was, again, right there at that 82 inch, so you have good with that. I like that this one has that dual AC. I think that's a great feature, even though this camper isn't huge. Talking about capacities, your freshwater capacity is 45. Wastewater, black water is 32. Gray water is 64, but that's because you'll have the dual tanks. And you're coming in at a 30K BTU for your furnace. So 15K AC in the main living, 13.5 in the bedroom. So wow, this is a great camper. I really suggest you try to get in here and look at it, because my video and pictures aren't doing it justice. Let me be honest with you about that. But I think this will give you some perspective and some great highlights on it. So, you know, check it out, make an appointment, or just come on in and take a look at it. We've had, this is my third one this summer within probably 2 months, and the first two went within weeks of getting them. So this is actually the first video I've been able to do since our first one came back in June. So it's a great camper. A lot of people are really noticing. I hope now that you can take notice of it and see a video. So can't wait to see it, campers. Check us out on our website with the link. And again, Jeff with CH Waltz Outdoor and RV. See you soon, campers.